This is my fifth live stream of the day. I'm exhausted and I want to go to bed. Nobody yet, huh? Trump? Victor Falls, you think? I know you from the chats. I know you think it's Trump. But we could have the conversation, especially when we get more people in here. What's your favorite Trump policy, Victor? Just out of curiosity. And please don't say the border. Victor, did you hit the like button for me at least, even though you disagree with me? Just kidding. I know you didn't. I don't like everything he does. Oh, really? That's good. I give you credit for that. I rarely hear that from Trump supporters. Trump says MV 3380. Why? Could you tell me why? Nightbots 4 high. Or Nightspot 4. My bad. Why do you guys think Trump was better? You think he was better for the economy or what? I mean, we could talk about his current term, but his first term too. I like Trump. Do you? Do you mind telling me why? Like, do you like him as a president or do you like him as a person? Why do you think Biden was better? Just pure facts about the two presidencies, you know? I mean, it's not just me that thinks it. Biden fixed what Trump broke. I know people don't want to believe that, but if you actually look into the details, like what Joe Biden, well, when Trump left office, after he fucked up COVID beyond all recognition and grossly mishandled the pandemic, he left office with 14% unemployment and 2.5 million less jobs than he came in with. And when Biden came into office, he had to deal with the fallout from COVID, but he brought unemployment down to a record low 3.2%. He created 16 million jobs, which is 4 times more than the last 4 Republican presidents combined. The GDP was up. Stock market was hitting record highs the last year or so. Everything was good. I know people don't want to believe it. Groceries were a little high, but groceries are more expensive now than they were under Biden. Gas is only a couple of cents less on average than it was under Biden. The tariffs are making everything more expensive. They're destroying our farmers. You know, I'm a Republican, so I'm always voting Republican, as Democrats will strictly vote Democrat. I don't agree. There was Republicans that I probably would have voted for this time in 2024. I mean, if Ron DeSantis would have gotten the nomination, which there was no chance of that, but I probably would have voted for him. Honestly, do you think Trump is going to release the Epstein files? I know. I think the DOJ will release heavily redacted portions of the Epstein files. Anime porn. I don't even know what that is. Somebody brought up anime yesterday. What is that? I have a wife. I have a beautiful wife. I don't need to watch anime porn. Guys, do me a favor. Even if you disagree with me, hit the like button just for shits and giggles, or hit the dislike button and subscribe if you can. Matter of fact, I'm going to do something on this show. I'm going to try something here. Might be a bad idea, but I'm going to try it anyway. Some of you might not want to subscribe, but I've made up my mind. This is how I want to do it. All right. Okay. Chinese cartoons. That's what anime is? Interesting. What did Biden do? The American Rescue Plan, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Science Act, Chips and Science Act, the PACT Act, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, the Butch-Lewis Act. A lot of stuff. Trump and Epstein, wealthy men, R-worded, middle-class children, FDT, and the pedo radical right that support him. I'm with you, Robert Boyd. I'm with you. What do you mean I was late, Night Spot? Trump and Epstein, wealthy. That's the one I read. I thought I was going to miss you tonight. Now I'm here. I thought I was going to miss the show tonight. I was on the couch with my wife. We're watching this Netflix series, and I just kept fucking falling asleep, man. I couldn't stay awake. So I had to get up and get the show started. I disagree and subbed and liked. We need to have civil conversation without always butting heads. I agree, Victor. I agree 100%. Let me ask you, there is anything Trump does that you can agree with? Well, I think I'm on the fence about the First Step Act, only because like my channel is usually about the mafia and a lot of killers, like serial killers, basically got out of prison early because of it. But I think overall it was probably good. The First Step Act, Operation Warp Speed was good, and he's better on the border than Biden. I just don't like the way ICE is going about locking people up, because they're arresting American citizens. They're not. I'm not saying they're deporting them, but they're arresting them. What up, Chubbs? How goes the day? Also, don't agree with the El Mango regime. That's good. Did you have to call me Chubbs? That's hurtful. Why can't I send gifts to you? You mean super chats? You should be able to. You mentioned your beautiful wife. What's his name? Listen, bro, I know you're probably interested in me, but I'm not gay. Sorry, man. This is probably the wrong chat to look for dudes. Well, at least until we get more MAGA people in here. Seems to be a lot of gay MAGA people in these chats. Nice try. But my beautiful wife's name is Shanna. Everybody from the community I usually take part in on YouTube knows her. Let's see. We got to see how many people we get. It might take a while. We might not get many. I don't know. The fact your channel is about the mafia and you're all over this regime, do you feel like he moves like a mafia boss? I feel like I'm reading X-Men or Spider-Man when Kingpin ran for president. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, he does move like a mafia boss. Absolutely. He there's no question about it. He demands fierce loyalty from his people. He'll get rid of anybody who doesn't give him that loyalty. Like it's nothing. Personally, I think he would sell one of his kids for the right price. I think he cares about nothing but money, and he needs to be in control of everything, even things presidents usually aren't in control of. He has to call the shots. He constantly wants revenge on his enemies. He doesn't let anything go. Very much like a mafia boss. I think there might have even been a book written about that. Very much. Yeah. Guys, whoever's here, please hit the like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Anybody else? Want to tell me who you think was better, Trump or Biden, and why? I'm in agreement with you about Trump being a mafia boss. Oh, there's no question. And you got to realize, too, there's another thing, we've spoken about on my channel and stuff. Trump, dealt with the mafia a lot. He had to have. You couldn't build buildings in New York City, uh, in the 70s, 80s, 90s without, you know, talking to them. And usually they controlled pretty much every aspect of construction. So when it came to getting concrete poured or windows installed or anything, you were in contact with the mafia. And he did have meetings with certain bosses and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, the South Philly guys really fucked him over. There's a guy named Salvi Testa and a guy named Joey Molino. Joey Molino he's actually on YouTube now. But Salvi Testa owned a property on the Atlantic City Boardwalk, a bar. And Donald Trump wanted to build, I think it was the Taj Mahal. But this fucking bar was in the way. So I believe the value at the time for the bar was $250,000. But Salvi knew that Trump needed that bar. So he charged him $2 million and Trump paid it. Smart guy. Salvi later got killed. The thing is, I see him and he told the story of the woman that took in the snake, and he told as a warning to his base. Well, yeah, I mean, he tells that story as a way to like down talk illegal immigrants and scare people, about illegal immigration and stuff. But I mean, he's really truly describing himself to America. You knew he was a snake before you let him in. I mean, everybody knew that about Trump. How do you think he handled Israel and now possibly helping to end the Ukraine-Russia war? As far as I'm concerned, he's supporting a genocide. I think Netanyahu has Trump in his pocket. And as far as Ukraine, I mean, he's not trying to help end it. He's trying to help Putin win. Even though Russia invaded Ukraine and Russia's at fault for all this, they came up with a plan, which, by the way, Trump did not come up with. That it's already been proven, that plan that they're giving Zelensky till Thursday to, that deal or whatever to agree to, that was actually written up by the Kremlin, Putin. So Putin has something on him. Putin owns him in some way. You could see by the way he deals with him. He won't put any real sanctions on Russia. He won't do anything to punish Putin for the shit he does. Even when he says, if Putin doesn't agree to a ceasefire, I'm going to do this, this, and this, he never does anything. He is on the side of Putin, and he's just going to give Zelensky one chance, and that's to just surrender, his territory and just say, I surrender, I give up. And I don't think Zelensky is going to do it. Right then, I knew he was two-faced, but in his view, their fault for falling for it. He was a snake when they took him in. Oh, yeah, that's his view of it. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I was talking to someone today who was the head of security for the Carter family. Really? Wow. Wasn't Molino in pictures with Trump? Yeah, Casey. Yeah. Yeah. Joey Molino and Donald Trump took a picture together, and then Donald Trump said, I didn't know who he was. I had no idea that he was Joey Molino. Yeah, you did. These politicians will never pass on insider trading bill. They're bigger crooks than gangsters. I agree. Do you think he blew Clinton or another dude named Bubba? Fact is, he blew someone. I think it was a lost bet. Haha, but wild. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, as much as I dislike the guy, it's hard for me to believe he blew a dude. But the reason people believe it is because of where it came from. That's not something like, Epstein went and told the public about Trump or so. That was private emails where he said that. And he said, do you think Putin still has the pics of him blowing Bubba or something? That's crazy. And plus, we know that Russia has dirt on him. So it makes you think. The Russians have a video of prostitutes urinating on Trump. That's the word, yeah. 100% correct. Trump is Putin's bitch. 28-point mandate to Ukraine from Russia. Yeah. That's what it's going to be, and he's giving him till Thursday. I mean, it's not fair in any way, shape, or form. Zelensky didn't start the war. He's just protecting his country and his people. But basically, Donald has no real desire on stopping the war other than to make himself look good or maybe finally win that Nobel Peace Prize. His interest is really in helping Putin. Always. Oh, it was an oil tycoon, Bob? Oh, then yeah, I do believe he blew him. I think I do believe that. Yes. Guys, whoever's here, I know there's not many people, but please hit the like button and subscribe. I'd appreciate it very, very much. It would help me out a lot. Even if you don't agree with me, what the fuck, you know? But especially if you do agree with me. Anybody else? Who is better, Trump or Biden, and why? Jay Creek, haha, yeah, I don't care if he did, to each their own, but his base for such pearl clutchers over trans or cross-dressing. Did they forget there is a vid of Giuliani cross-dressing for Trump? Well, I'll tell you what's funny about that, man, is that, Donald Trump has said some of the gayest shit I've ever heard a man say. And I'm not kidding. I mean, the fucking guy said, he stood there and spoke about Arnold Palmer's cock like it was his own. He talked about how dudes would be like in awe of the size of Arnold Palmer's cock. This is very strange. And he just kept going on and on about it. He said, I can't say it. I won't say it, but I got to say. And then he says it. He always is talking about guys that are straight out of central casting in the military, how big and buff they are and muscular and good looking and strong. And it's like, guys, come on. Listen, any straight man listening right now, you don't think about guys like that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't. You might see a big motherfucker and be like, God damn, that bitch is big. You ain't like, ooh, that motherfucker's muscles. It's very strange. Trump, he's always talking about how good looking guys are and stuff and describing their bodies. Biden wasn't a habitual liar and a racist con artist grifting criminal, for one. I agree. Both Biden and Trump would only get a participation ribbon as presidents. Neither better than the other. Oh, come on now, Casey. You can't say that. You know goddamn well Biden was better than Trump. You know it. 72 people. Hit the like button and subscribe, guys. I'm just waiting for people to comment. Tell me what you think. I personally, and you guys aren't going to like this, Trump supporters, but whether you believe it or not, hey, Tia Fireball, Trump really coasted on Obama's economy in the first term. He really did. I mean, you guys might not want to believe it, but Obama inherited a disaster, the Great Recession, from George W. Bush. And he saved the economy, basically, the auto industry and everything. I wasn't too thrilled about the bank bailouts, but it was necessary. I just don't like what the banks did with the money. But, he brought unemployment down by, I don't even know. I'm not even sure the percentage, but he at least cut it in half from what he got from George Bush. And he had 78 straight months of job growth, So, Biden Trump walked into that and it was just easy. You could have just done nothing and it would have stayed on that trajectory and it would have been good. COVID was not Trump's fault, but the way he handled it was. Every nation in the world had to deal with that pandemic. And our leader handled it worse than every other nation. And because of that, even though you guys like to blame Democrats for shutdowns and stuff, there wouldn't have had to have been as many shutdowns if Trump would have handled it differently and took it seriously right from the beginning. And then during COVID, he just destroyed everything. Everything. The fuck? Somebody just sent me something. I'm a little confused about it. Oh, shit. Yeah. It's an Instagram video, and it's got that fucking song. I'm going to get a copyright. I literally thought, how does he catch idiots in his spider web? Realized he's a carrot dangler to people that are low or poor or opportunity one-side deals. I mean, listen, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to market himself. He's a charismatic guy. He knows how to sell, but you got to understand, he was literally trained on how to run for president, what to do. You know what I mean? He was trained on what side to take on certain issues, everything. Like Roger Stone told him, literally, and again, MAGA people will not like this, but Roger Stone told him, your base, they're not highly intelligent people, okay? So you have to speak like a moron, basically. In other words, if you look at videos of Donald Trump from back in the day, he seems fairly intelligent and articulate. But when you listen to him now, it's like a totally different person. Now, a lot of that is because he's old and he's got dementia, but a lot of it is also because he does it on purpose. I remember when all the MAGA people were like, that fucking Obama, I can't even I can't understand a word he says. He uses them big words, and and they couldn't stand that about him. So you got Trump, he comes and he talks like an idiot, and he makes them feel smart, and it's, he was trained on what to do. That whole Mexicans are rapists thing, you think that was an accident? That was just Trump freestyling off the top of his head? It was all planned. You know what I mean? It was all planned. There was people around him that knew how to make him the president, and it worked. The Dems and Fauci, yeah, I gotta delete that comment. I can't have something like that in the chat here, but no, they didn't. The Dems and Fauci. Uh-oh, did I just get rid of the wrong comment? Oh no, that's the one I meant to delete. I don't know what I just did. Trump said in an interview if he could run for president, he would be a Republican because they're so stupid. Well, unfortunately, cowboy baby Yoda, I wish that was true, but it's honestly not. I hate to stand up for Donald Trump, but if you look it up, he never actually said that. I thought so for a while, too, until I looked into it. He is clever, whatever you want. He claims whatever you want, he claims he could do, like a genie. If he doesn't do it, it's your fault. You didn't tide or believe, kiss enough butt. Yeah. Well, remember, he used to stand in front of the whole world, like on live TV, in other words, and he would give you a list of 9 million things that are wrong with America, and then he would say, and only I can fix it. And they believed him. I heard people with my own ears saying it. Trump is the only guy that can fix these things. Trump is a guy that was never nothing more than a slumlord, a business failure, and a reality TV show host. And he convinced half this country that he's the only guy that could fix its problems. And he wound up only making those problems worse. No, I haven't. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? Honestly, he makes me feel like it's on then. Why not grift these racist scumbags? Oh, on them, you mean? But I'm not going to cut off my nose to spite my face. Yeah, no, I know. I mean, in a way, it's funny seeing them get played, but not when the rest of us have to pay for it. FBS, they're called magatards. That's pretty good, White Mike. How you been, bro? Guys, hit the like button and subscribe. Very, very important. Very important. I got it on subscribers mode, so I think a lot of people aren't chatting because they don't want to sub. That's up to you, but I was a Trump supporting conservative and believed in his message, but when the pandemic happened, I lost all faith in both sides. I don't bother with. No, I got you. I understand. People forget. It's so funny. They talk about Biden, how bad things were, but Do you guys remember what it was like in the beginning of COVID? I mean, I was taking care of my elderly mother at the time. She lived with me and my wife. So I got me, my wife, my elderly mother, and my stepson, who at the time was like 8, 9 years old. Okay. And I remember going to Walmart and shit, damn near praying just to be able to find bottled water or toilet paper or paper towels. The food shelves were bare, empty. I mean, it was insane how bad things were. I mean, and then you left with a 14% unemployment rate. It was horrible, but people seem to forget that time, or they just don't blame Trump for it, which is, disingenuous, because if Biden would have been in office, the whole fucking thing would have been his fault. You know what I mean? In your eyes. Have you seen the Trump phone thing they charge and you and never deliver? No, I'm not surprised though. That thing was a scam from the beginning. There's piece of shit phones that they were just overcharging for. Yeah. Biden, I will say, was a tiny bit better even. Oh, yeah, of course. Mike Ramey, you. I was wondering where you were at. Damon King, living in mom's basement. No, it's so funny you guys think that. It's because I honestly think that about most of you. I mean, I get that on every show. Why don't you move out of your mom's basement, dude? Like, my mom passed away in June, and she was living with me and my wife. I took care of her for like 7 years. I'm a grown man with a family, and I make a living and I pay bills and I do everything I'm supposed to do. I don't break the law. I don't bother nobody. I'm 6.5 years clean and sober. I just come on YouTube and talk. Let me see. Oh, you're a good sport, just delusional. How am I delusional? And you got to spell it. It's DELUSIONAL. How am I delusional? Tell me how. Seriously, let's have a conversation. And we ain't got to do all kinds of name calling and shit. Just tell me how I'm delusional. 9 months. What does that mean, 9 months? What does that mean? Kevin Spencer. You just start? Yeah, I started 28 minutes ago. Yeah. Guys, hit the like button and subscribe. Please do me the favor. It'll help me out a lot. I'd appreciate it, especially if you're on my side. And if you can, donate to the show, with a super chat or something. It would be helpful. This is how I make a living, so I do count on that. And I'll even throw this in the chat just for shits and giggles, in case any of you want to use it. All right. Trump is a rapist and a pedo. I believe so. 9 months clean. Oh, that's great, man. Congratulations, Kevin. That's awesome, bro. It is. I do addiction and recovery shows sometimes on this channel too. Try to help people, Anyway, guys, come on, start chatting. What are people afraid? Do I have to take the subscriber thing off? I'll take it off. Relax, everybody. There we go. I think people are afraid to sub or something. They act like it costs them money. Sticking up to Trump hardcore. Yeah. I hate that man with a fucking passion. And not just because of politics. I've hated him since I was a little kid. Just your politics is crazy, listening to these anti-Trumpers blindly supporting the Democrats, systematically ruining our American dream. Well, but see, like when I ask you for details on something like that, you won't give me any. You say my politics are delusional, but Damon, I hate to break it to you. I'm on the right side of it. Like the stuff I tell you, it's all facts. It's you guys that are delusional. You see this lunatic, Donald Trump, who's a lifelong scumbag, and you actually believe that he cares about you. I mean, that's delusional. And how are the Democrats ruining our American dream? How do you figure? The American dream wouldn't even exist without Democrats. Do you know how much shit in our daily lives only exists because of Democrats? Republicans have never had desirable policies on anything unless you're rich. So it blows my mind when you say stuff like that because, no offense, but I just don't think you know that much. And I think that because what I'm saying you don't like, you don't like what you're hearing from me, then I must be delusional. But do you ever like fact check me on the stuff that I say and say, oh shit, look at that, he's right about that. See, I think there's an issue here with a lot of Trump supporters. They don't actually want to know the truth because the truth doesn't fit their narrative. So you just write me off as crazy or having TDS, which is the most retarded thing I ever heard, because you don't want to find out that I'm right. It bothers you that I'm saying these things. Meanwhile, like when you say anti-Trumpers blindly supporting the Democrats, I got news for you, bro. Anti-Trumpers don't blindly follow anybody. Trumpers do. You guys blindly follow Donald Trump. You wear his merch like a bunch of sheep. You all wear the same hat, the same shirts. You got the yard signs, the flags with his name on them. And no matter what he does, no matter how heinous it is, you excuse it. You figure out a way to excuse it. We don't do that. I'll tell you all kinds of fucked up shit about Democrats. Pick a Democrat. I'll tell you some fucked up shit. Go ahead. I don't care. I don't blindly support anybody. I don't care about politicians. I don't. You know why? Politicians don't care about me. And there was a time in this country when everybody knew all politicians gave zero fucks about the American people. But now we have this situation where almost half this country, I'll say half the voters in this country, have been convinced that this guy truly cares about them and is working for them. And this is the last guy you should ever believe that from. What is a lifelong scumbag? The guy's been a scumbag since he was a kid. I mean, the guy inherited everything off his dad. He never really worked for anything. He got sued by the Justice Department for not renting apartments to black people, for refusing to. He used to make his black employees stay in the back of his casino so he wouldn't have to see them when he did walkthroughs. He cheated on every wife he ever had. He stiffed unions and all his contractors and employees. He's a bad guy. Accused of sexual assault 27 times, once by a 13-year-old. Jeffrey Epstein's best friend for 10 years. I mean, a lifelong scumbag. I really hate how the Dem Party doesn't have the stones to do it. They need to. And Repubs, MAGAs are just tyrants. Yeah, they're complete and total polar opposites. Democrats are the biggest pussies on the planet, Democrat politicians. Look how they caved on the shutdown, on the ACA subsidies, I loved all the clips you showed us, all the mistakes from the scumbag Trump. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I keep those videos ready to go. Guys, hit the like button and subscribe, please. It's very, very important. They are bots. They're not even Americans. They're located all over the world that are just here to repeat talking points. Leopard money for that Twitter. Expose them. Leopard money? I know what you're talking about. I watched Luke Beasley talk about it. But yeah, on Twitter, a lot of those people are bots from overseas and shit. It's wild. I know, but hey, I'll talk anyway. Fuck it. I would support more if the handicapped got double the support. We can barely afford anything. We don't choose to be sick. I work construction. I agree with you, man. It's a shame that you don't. Who canceled the SNAP benefits? Democrats. Who started racism on the Triple K? The Democrats. Listen, man, this is the weakest argument ever. They didn't cancel SNAP benefits. Do you realize that SNAP benefits only exist because of Democrats? Like, Democrats created SNAP benefits. There would be no such thing as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program without Democrats. Republicans would do away with it tomorrow if they could. Plus, while the government was shut down, Donald Trump had the funds to fund SNAP and make sure everybody got their food stamps in November, but he refused to, even after being ordered to by 2 judges. So, and again, you could bring up the racism with the Democrats, but when you do that, do you think, like, do you say to yourself, wait a minute, because you guys, all you'll talk about is how Democrats do nothing but help minorities. And then you'll say they're the party of racism. Like, I can't wrap my head around the fact that it's impossible for you guys to acknowledge or realize that the Democrats of back then are the Republicans of today. That is a fact. And if I'm wrong, then tell me who flies the Confederate flag today? Who supports keeping up statues of Confederate soldiers? Who it was endorsed by the KKK and every white supremacist group in the country? Who has white supremacists in their party? Who had dinner with Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago? You know, I mean, and then you take the Democrats and they have like Ilhan Omar and AOC and Jasmine Crockett in Congress and shit. And it's like, I mean, it's baffling to me that you guys don't understand that everything changed between like the 30s and maybe the early 80s. Everything changed. The racist Southern Democrats started voting for Republicans and everything changed. That's why today it's the Democrats that fight against Confederate statues and Confederate flags, and it's the Republicans that fight in favor of them. There's been governors that have fought to keep the Confederate flag in front of their state capital, only Republican governors. So I get curious as to how it is that you guys don't know that or just refuse to acknowledge it. Democrats have abandoned the working class people. Even Bernie Sanders admits it in a recent video. Well, Bernie Sanders has reason to say that. I mean, it's beneficial for him to say that. But Mike, do you think that the Republicans are for the working man more than the Democrats? And if so, please tell me how. No, that's not all we got. No. Let me explain something to you. Everything is a talking point. So when you guys say that, it's baffling to me. Anything we talk about, you could call a talking point. The news talks about the shit. Everybody talks about they're called issues. Okay. So if the issue is a talk, or if the talking point is an issue, I mean, it's a real issue. So I that's another thing people just say because they don't know much about politics. So they're like, oh, it's just talking points. But anything I talk to you about, I can get very in depth about and give you great detail on all this shit. So it's not talking points. It's knowledge. We have knowledge of things. From the past post to the American dream doesn't include a rapist as our leader. Republicans are the first to allow a convicted criminal as president. That's facts. And Trump played Republicans to avoid jail. He did. Trump owes $10 million in back taxes to New Jersey. Is that right? MAGA, TDS, this dude has to be faxed. Okay, buddy. Democrats plan to make America dependent on the government, much like North Korea. How so? How so? How do you figure? I'm curious. How do you figure that exactly? Like, tell me what the agenda is. What are they doing to give you that idea? Bring back government cheese. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. That's another thing that just went away after Trump was elected. You didn't hear no more about it because it was bullshit to begin with. J.D. Vance sat on the news and said, listen, if we got to make things up to get our point across, we will. And that went over your heads. Trump even went to court to try to stop states from using their state's emergency funds for SNAP. Yeah, it was literally Donald Trump who cut off food stamps. The race hustling got extremely out of control with Trump down the escalator. Also, racism existed forever. Oh, yeah, of course. Are you on SNAP benefits? You look like a pedo. You lie a lot. The Democrats are useless. No, I've never been on any SNAP benefits. And, of course, I'm not a pedo. But this is what I ask. Instead of you saying you lie about everything, just tell me what I lied about. Just tell me one thing I've been wrong about since you've been listening. You're totally wrong. The Democrats and Republicans of back. You're totally wrong. The Democrats and Republicans of back then, as you say, are dead. Oh my God. You think I meant the specific people, Max Gomez? You're trolling me, right? I meant all the things that the Democratic Party stood for and fought for back in the day, the Republicans of today stand for and fight for. Okay? In other words, the Democratic Party of back then is the Republican Party of today. Yeah, Jack Blue, we just went over that. That's not the Democrats of today. That's the Democrats of slave times and shit. I just keep saying it, and you guys still aren't getting it. Dixiecrats, yes. There's no Dixiecrats anymore. FBS, the Confederate flag was just about the South seceding. Both sides agreed on ending slavery after the war with intentions like the tractor or gin to pick crops. It's a symbol of slavery, White Mike. It's a symbol of a part of our country that fought against the U.S., traitors to America, that fought to keep slavery in place. That's what the Confederate flag is. Why do you think these hillbillies drive around with fucking Confederate flags on their trucks? Why do you think that is? Yep, Dixiecrats back then. Yep. Now, and that's another thing. Like Democrats fought against civil rights, right? But now they fight for civil rights. So, I mean, it's so weird. I mean, you guys talk about groups like Black Lives Matter. Are they Republicans or Democrats? And then you got groups like Proud Boys. Are they Republicans or Democrats? So anybody with brains would say, oh, shit. The Democrats were racist a long, long, long time ago, but they're not the same Democrats anymore. Now the Republicans are those Democrats, you know? Like, but I don't know. I guess you just don't want to admit it. You guys are usually openly racist, but yet you fight to prove that you're not somehow. I don't get it. Oh yeah, who did he hire exactly to run America? Can you tell me who? Biden sold America to the highest bidder. How? How do you say? Who did he sell it to? Guys, don't just say shit. You know, give me details. Who? What do you mean? I don't know if Biden's selling America. So who did he sell it to? You might teach me something. Who knows? Mike Ramey, $10. Whether Repubs are better for working class people or not, they still appealed better to them than Dems. Dems were more worried about identity politics and inclusiveness, which Sanders admits, and I agree. Well, listen, I'll say this, Mike Ramey. Okay, they could have done better with messaging and everything else. But the thing is, if we lived in a country full of people that actually had even a relative amount of intelligence, it wouldn't even matter, because the Democrats are the ones that always fought for working people, and Republicans are the ones that always fought against them. Republicans' only mission is to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. The Democrats, it's the opposite. So, as far as the Republicans appealing more to people in this country than Dems, again, I have to go back to the fact, not my opinion, the fact that the majority of Americans are very stupid individuals and they don't understand anything. So unfortunately, instead of having a country full of people that see through Republicans when they talk about all that working man horse shit, how they're for the working class, we have a country full of people that just take their word for it, when in reality, it's Democrats that are going to help you if you're a working person, or at least not hurt you. So did they appeal to them more? That's their own ignorance that made them so appealing, Republicans, to them. It's not that Republicans are better for them. Mike, they've been saying for what, about 5 decades now that Republicans vote against their own best interest. It's 100% a fact. I bring this up every show. I know you're sick of hearing it, Mike, but is it a coincidence that the red states that are run by Republicans are the least educated, poorest states in the country, and the blue states run by Democrats are the most well-educated, wealthiest states in the country? I mean, you drive through the Appalachian Mountains or something. What do you see? Shacks that are like sheds, run down, beat up ass homes. I mean, poor white trash. And they have Trump signs outside. And that's why they're poor. They don't understand politics. They don't know how it works. And those people that were poor in 2016 were still poor in 2020. And now that Trump's back in office, they're still poor. So it's very easy. You hit a button that says do not recommend this channel. But don't come in here crying like a little bitch. I can't stand whiners. Okay. All right. So yeah, I agree. Even though I don't agree with Black Lives Matter, I couldn't care less about it. Would that indicate to you that the Democrats are probably not the party of the KKK anymore? I'm doing it for a reason, man. I got a family to feed. Trump, greatest president we ever had since Reagan. Yeah, sure. You're stupid if you believe that. I'm stupid if I believe what? If I believe what? Do you, Arthur? Hey, at least you know what your fellow maggots are like, I've been a Democrat for 20 years. I have nothing but contempt for what the left has become. Cable news and social media have made them ignorant, sanctimonious hamburgers. I don't know hamburger part, but again, like what I would love, what my dream is that one day I'll do one of these shows, and instead of you guys putting these vague, ridiculous comments in the chat, you would just be specific. Be specific. Like, what is it that turns you off about the Democratic Party? What specifically? For the love of Christ. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe. It's very important. Please do that. You're delusional. You're making excuses or something that happened 250 years ago. You know nothing of what these people were thinking. Mary Johnson, no. Facts are facts. The Republicans are the party that fight against minorities, and the Democrats are the party that fight for them. So I know you guys who are clearly all racist. If you vote Republican and you vote for Trump, you're racist. There's no question about it. You wouldn't vote for them if you weren't. But what's funny is, like I said earlier, is a lot of you are openly racist. You'll come in here and say the most racist shit ever, but then you'll try to convince everybody that you vote Republican because it's the Democrats that started the KKK and fought for slavery. Meanwhile, it's the Democrats now that are fighting against everything the Confederacy stood for. Everything. So if you think I'm delusional, Mary, I have to say this, and if you don't like it, that's fine, but you have to be a very dumb individual, because what I'm saying is 100% true. If I'm wrong, tell me why the Republican Party is endorsed by the KKK and every white supremacist group in the nation. Trump specifically. We can disagree, FBS. I was actually an alt-writer for a year and listened to scum like Fuentes. I don't listen to them anymore and hate them. Hope you understand and can be cool. Of course, bro. Let me get down here. Dude, I tried being a Democrat or liberal for Halloween, but my head just wouldn't fit up my ass. It's amazing since there's no brains in it. You think it would slip right in, being as stupid as you are, but hey, whatever. Democrats are taxing the middle class into oblivion. No, they're not. That is not a thing. That you guys, who convinced you of that? Do you know that it's pretty much always the Democrat policy to raise taxes on the richest people and lower them on the poorest people? Like Kamala's plan was to raise taxes on people making over $400,000 a year and lower them for people making under that. With the Republicans, you got the opposite. The Republicans, Trump specifically, has raised taxes on you Since 2018, they just started 20, 21, 23, 25. Your taxes have gone up if you're a middle class or working class person because of Donald Trump's Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Meanwhile, the richest people at the top, they got tax credits and tax deductions and tax cuts. They got deductions for, like, if you own more than one jet, you get a tax cut for that. Shit like that. Private jet. That's no bullshit. Okay. So it's not the Democrats that raise taxes on the middle class. It's the Republicans. Even Mom Donnie right now, like you guys bitch about Mom Donnie. Mom Donnie only wants to raise taxes on people making over $1 million a year. And good, they can afford it, you know? So it's not the middle class. Democrats only help the middle class. No, Democrats are going to make your housing go up 65%. They're going to make your dollar inflate into nothing. They're going to make you own nothing and be happy. What do you mean? Are you from America, Gab? Or Gob, whatever your name is? Are you from the U.S.? Because why do you keep saying they're going to make your dollar inflate? I'm assuming you're not from here. Can you tell me more? How are they going to make housing go up 65%? I'll go to the bottom and wait. How are they going to do that? You see what I mean? You guys, you put vague statements into the comments with no detail. You know, it's almost like as if you don't even know what you're talking about. You're just repeating something you've heard. So how are they going to make housing go up by 65% exactly? You're wrong about that. How much do you make a year? How much do you make a year? Your taxes would have gone up for the first time. It was the 2018 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Your taxes would have gone up for the first time in 21, then 23, now in 25, and I believe in 27. That's just because of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So how much do you make? Because believe me, your taxes went up. You just might not realize it. You were cherry picking the comment. No, bro, I can't read all the comments, and I have no interest in reading all the comments. If you want your comment read, send a super chat, because I'm not going to get to all the comments. I make enough to pay my rent and support my dope habit. Is that right, Robin Banks? Well, you'd think Robin Banks should have more money. Voted for what? Oh, you're talking about MAGAs, yeah. If you raise the tax on the rich, aka companies, then they will just pass the expenses on the working class. No, not necessarily. I mean, let me show you the difference between Democrats and Republicans, okay? Because you don't even know, like, if they tax the top 1% an extra $250,000 a year, we could pay for everything this country needs. You know that? Everything with no problem. Every year, $250,000. So if you think companies that are worth billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions are going to be hurting so bad over that minuscule amount of money that they're going to have to pass it on to the working class, why would they have to? What you, I guess, prefer is trickle down economics. So what you think is that if we keep giving money to the richest people, eventually it will trickle down to the poorest people, except that was Reagan's plan. It didn't work then, and it doesn't work now. When you give more money to large companies and corporations, they do stock buybacks. Okay, so they can own a larger percentage of their company, and they give themselves huge bonuses. They don't pass the savings down to their employees. They don't. Look at the wages. You know, the Republicans have kept the federal minimum wage at $7.25 for, like, I think a couple of decades now. Now watch this. I want to show you some proposals Democrats made, and I want you to see how Republicans voted. If I still have it on here, which I certainly hope I do. Wait a minute, where is this? Is this it?
Public. The problem is the Republicans, not the Democrats.
No, not that. Oh, here's Tom Homan. Let him talk to you.
I've noticed in the media circle, a lot of them don't have criminal histories. Well, a lot of gamers don't have criminal histories.
Yeah, that's our borders are under Donald Trump. Let's
In my stupid.
No, it's not that one. I might. Oh, here it is. Watch.
Already tell that this narrative is about how we're all about the wealthy.
We can save health care for millions of Americans if we strip out tax giveaways for individuals making more than $10 million. Yes or no?
No. No's appear to have it. No's do have it.
We can help parents be able to take their kids to the doctor. We can keep seniors in their nursing homes if we strip out tax giveaways for individuals making more than $100 million a year.
Nay. No. No's appear to have it.
People are going to die when 17 million people lose their health care. And for what? To give an average $250,000 tax cut to the wealthiest families. This amendment would just say no tax cuts for people making over $500 million.
All opposed, no. No. The no's appear to have it.
So my amendment is really simple. People making $1 billion.
All opposed, no. No. The no's appear to have it. The no's do have it. Motion's not agreed to.
Now, if you're a working class person and you see that and you think, yeah, the Republicans are on our side, you're out of your fucking mind. You do know that to give those tax cuts to the rich, they have got to raise taxes on the poor, right? It's the only way they can make up for it. So how do you see that and think that's my party? If you're just a working person, how? The S&P 500 is up approximately 37.8% from April 8, 2025, low of 4,982.77. Okay, what's your point? What's your point? You know that the stock market was hitting record highs like all the time in Biden's last year or two. You know that, right? And besides, April 8th, 2025, who was president again? Donald Trump. Yeah. And you know why it was at such a low? Because his tariffs kept crashing the fucking economy. And he was, doing insider trading based on that crash. But don't spam the chat or I'm just going to block you. Republicans have always been for the rich. They want us to die quickly. Well, they need poor people to make them richer, but yeah, they've always been for the rich. They don't care about poor people. They look down on you. Trump is far better than Biden. That's easy. Hell, Trump is better than Obama. All right, tell me how. Tell me what Trump has done that's been good for America. See what I mean about you guys don't know any. That's why I know you guys have no knowledge, because you'll just come in and say that. And when I say, okay, tell me what he's done for America, you'll disappear from the chat or you'll just move on to something else. It's all vague comments from you guys. When I talk about anything, I give you great detail, but you guys will just say shit like that. You know what I mean? Let me do the bare minimum my whole life and blame the government for my lot in life. I know you're trying to say that about Democrats. I mean, who are you? Are you saying that because I talked about the minimum wage? Because you are the guys. I know you don't believe this, Braga, but you're the guys that blame the government and everything for your horrible lives. I mean, again, you've been convinced by the richest people that the people poorer than you are responsible for your problems. You guys constantly listen to how you speak. Your life sucks because of illegal immigration. Your life sucks because of liberals. Your life sucks because of cancel culture, even though you're nobody who would even be canceled for anything. You're like, everything is everybody else's fault. Trans people make your life suck. Meanwhile, you're just a loser. I hate to say it, but many of you, you're miserable because you've never done anything. You've never become anything. So you're miserable, angry people who cannot take responsibility for your own actions, much like Donald Trump. So you just blame everyone else for your problems. That's another thing that, people find insufferable about you guys, is that you're all the biggest victims in the world. The biggest victims in the world. All right, cool. This is all a show. They will always say they're about taxing the rich. The real issue is tax deduction loopholes. which both sides take advantage of and their donors until they get rid of that. It's BS. But yeah, fine. But Mike, the place where we disagree is when you say this is all a show. Now, what do you think about what I just showed you? Do you think that was nonsense? Or do you think that's how Republicans handle tax cuts and shit? And again, if a president decides I'm going to tax the rich, people making over 400 grand a year, I'm going to increase their taxes, but lower the taxes on people making under 400 grand a year, are they helping the working class? And how could you say they're not? So, Saber, you would know the truth if it fucking slapped you in the face. You guys listen to Donald Trump, the biggest pathological liar known to man. Oh my God, guys. Earlier, somebody said 30% inflation. There hasn't been inflation that high since 1920. Where was there 20% inflation? You see what I mean? You guys, everything you put in the chat. That's why I like Mike. At least a lot of what Mike Ramey says, he does his research. Everything you guys put in the chat is nothing but misinformation. Have you ever looked it up when you heard somebody say 20% inflation? Have you ever thought, that seems awfully high, and then looked it up to see how high it got? Because you'd have to be an asshole to believe we had 20% inflation. I really wish YouTube would stop my algorithm from sending me these. All right, then I'm assuming you're talking about the people in the chat. So just leave, Cloud Sugar. What are you worried about? I agree. Most of them are inbred Neanderthals, but just leave then. I mean, don't bitch. I'm back. I made over 30, never got tax. Made over 30, never got tax. What does that mean exactly? I made over 30, never got tax. Minimum wage, minimum skill. No, but bro, Saber. Some people, that's the jobs they have to work. You're telling me that even unskilled workers don't deserve more than $7.25 an hour. And again, I'll tell you things you don't know, like Amazon, who is owned by one of the richest men on planet Earth, along with Walmart, are the biggest employers of SNAP recipients, okay? They employ more SNAP recipients than any other companies in the country. So when you hear that, and you see, because you want it both ways. You want people to make nothing, and you also don't want them to get any help. So you want to keep the minimum wage low, but you don't want them getting food stamps or nothing. You don't understand how one problem feeds the other. You don't get it. Like, minimum wage should not be $7.25 in this country. It's absurd for it to be that much. It's absurd. Fuck Nancy Pelosi. Who cares about her? I'm not here to defend Nancy Pelosi. Republicans also disregarded as blue states that ends up paying for a lot of the red states' debt because of Republicans mismanagement. Maybe if we didn't deal with that, we'll be less expensive to live. Of course. California pays into the government $85 billion more than it takes out. And then you got Texas that takes out $75 billion more than it puts in. I mean, those blue states, they cover the rest of the country's ass. Those red states would go fucking bankrupt without them. Not to mention, the red states have the poorest people, the most uneducated people. So, this is what voting Republican gets you. I don't blame the government for anything. My life is the shit. My life is the shit. But you do, right? When it's Democrats running things, right? Thank you. They just repeat what they heard on Fox, or Trump told them the facts. Yeah, the alternative facts. Yeah. I don't blame anyone. Yes, you do. You guys, that's why people like me, we don't sit around worried about illegals and trans people. You have no effect on my life. My life is great. Everything I have and everything I've gotten in my life, I've gotten on my own. And no illegal immigrant got in the way of that. No trans person, no gay person, or anything else. But you guys, that's all you do. And that's why your president has never given a single speech where he laid out policy plans. Never. When Donald Trump speaks, he tells you how bad the country is. He scares the shit out of you because you guys, it's actually, this is true, it's science. You have what's called a larger right amygdala. So you respond to fear differently. You guys are afraid of everything. That's why you guys won't even leave the house without a gun, and you stockpile guns even though you live in the middle of nowhere and you're in no danger, because you respond to fear differently. So what Fox News and Trump does to you, and if you don't believe me, just listen to them anytime. They'll tell you how much the illegals are affecting you and the economy. They'll tell you how much the Muslims are doing to hurt you, how they're coming here to take over. They're going to teach, whatever the fucking language, I don't know, in schools and stuff like that. Mexicans, did I already say that? Illegals? I'm not sure, but illegals, Muslims, black people, gay people, trans people, they have you believing that trans people are taking over the schools and that your kids are going to go to school a boy and come home a girl. Donald Trump literally said that. And you guys believe this shit. The Republicans' policies since the 80s have not been desirable in any way, shape, or form. So all they did was they figured out that they got to start these culture wars. So that's why it's gay versus straight, black versus white, rich versus poor. Okay, that's what they do. And you guys buy it hook, line, and sinker. And you don't even realize that if you're anything but a millionaire, the Republicans are only going to hurt you. It's just like these people in red states. Donald Trump cut Medicare. Okay, he cut SNAP funding, all this shit. He took funding away. There's rural hospitals closing all over red states. His policies are disproportionately affecting red states, not blue states. And you don't have to believe me. You could look into it. Donald Trump's policies so far are hurting you guys way more than they're hurting me. Way more. Like 16% of Alabama is on SNAP, the entire population. You guys receive a disproportionate amount of SNAP funding and funding for welfare, Medicaid, Medicare, and everything else. And that's all going away in rural areas. That's why you don't want to admit it. But there's states where people are flipping the fuck out over their own vote now because they realize they fucked themselves. Soybeans. Donald Trump put the tariffs on. China stopped buying soybeans from the U.S. Soybean farmers are going out of fucking business. Then he says he struck a deal, and now the Chinese are going to start buying soybeans from us again. They were supposed to buy something like 27 million metric tons already, and they only bought like 350,000 metric tons. Okay, because Donald Trump's a fucking liar. So soybean farmers are fucked. Now he's increasing the beef imports from Argentina. So the cattle ranchers in the U.S. are fucked. He's hurting the people that voted for him. He's not hurting the people that hate him. We don't, we're fine. What do you want a source for? Tell me specifically. See, that's another thing you guys do. I'll talk about 500 different things. I'll be like, give me a source. Give you a source for everything I spoke about all at once. Okay. Yeah, right. In the Bible. Yeah, that's the thing. They live the least Christian-like lives. I mean, the Bible was all about helping the poor and feeding the starving. And you guys hate the poor, even though most of you are the poor. It's very strange. And the last thing you want is to feed the starving. I heard it once, and it was Saber. I'll tell you what, call me, and you could tell me all about it right here live on the show, 410-941-9850. I heard a thing one time. It said liberals will feed 1,000 people to make sure that not even one of them starves. But Republicans will starve 1,000 people to make sure that one person who doesn't deserve it doesn't get fed. It's true. It is fair. Is it fair the countries charge USA tariffs and we don't charge them? No. If you're talking about reciprocal tariffs, that's one thing. That's not what Donald Trump's doing. He's doing universal tariffs, and he's using tariffs as a negotiating tool and every fucking thing else. It's not working. It's only hurting us. Also, Florence Martinez, and if you're a Trump supporter, I'm going to pass out laughing. What was I going to say? We pay the tariffs. You know that we pay the tariffs, right? Like they don't charge us tariffs. Like they charge their own people tariffs, and we don't charge them tariffs. We charge our own people tariffs. So Donald Trump has you paying tariffs every day, and China isn't paying a dime. Neither is Mexico or any other country. It's you. Oh, it is, yeah, no, without a doubt. Let them eat ramen is the rallying cry about MAGA now in poverty. Yeah, well, that's the funniest thing. They're the poorest people in the country, but they fight for the richest people in the country, and they vote for the people that hate them the most. Howard Stern said it best. He said it best. I wish I had the recording handy, but he said the funniest thing about Trump supporters is, I forget exactly how he worded it, but basically the guy that you all worship despises you. He hates you. Donald Trump hates poor people. He fucking hates you. And you don't understand the irony and the fact that you vote for him because you think he's actually the only one that likes you. I mean, it's amazing. He hates people like you. He would never shake one of your hands in public unless there was a camera around for a photo op and he was running again or something. He'd never. He's disgusted by people like you. What do you believe Trump's intent is for use of tariffs? Just another way to collect money so he could pay for those tax cuts for the richest people, except he's collecting it from us. Then he tells you guys shit like he'll give you $2,000 rebates, which that should tell you all. Why is it a rebate if you're not paying the tariffs? It's just giving you some of your money back, but you're not even going to get that because the fucking tariffs don't bring in enough a year to give $2,000 rebates to everyone, even just eligible people. So that's it. You know, it's another way to tax you guys and convince you that you're not being taxed, because I bet you most of the people in the chat still think that the foreign countries pay the tariffs. You know? Guarantee it. It's nice to see the messed up thinking brain of a liberal. Thank you. All it took for me to realize I wasn't one was to look inside myself. What the fuck? You want to grab the link and debate me? Because you guys, you throw insults at me, you say I'm lying, you talk all this shit, but not a single one of you will actually debate me. Or when I ask you a question, not a single one of you will give me an answer. You know, like I'll ask again. Okay, what Trump derangement syndrome, which is actually what you have. You don't realize it, but why? Why do I have Trump derangement syndrome? Am I acting irrationally and just saying a bunch of shit that isn't true? And if so, prove it's not true. No, that's not true, Brian Knight. It's not true. There's no such thing. Very rarely does a country use universal tariffs on other countries. It's just not good for business, for their own country. It's not a good plan. Oh, yeah, nurses. Oh, yeah. They've just decided a whole bunch of professional degrees don't count as professional degrees anymore. And oddly enough, almost every single one of them, that field is dominated by women. So basically women's degrees, including nursing, they don't count as professional degrees anymore. Wait, we pay for theirs and our tariffs? No. Like if China charges us a tariff, they import goods from us, their people pay the tariff. So when we charge China tariffs, China doesn't lose a dime. We have to pay the tariffs on the imported goods we got from China. That's why it's so ass backwards. It's just more taxes. And you guys insist that the Republicans are the ones that don't tax the middle class into the ground. And that Republicans, I forgot what I was going to say, but you get my point. It's bizarre. It's so bizarre. I mean, Donald Trump is taxing you every day. Inflation is up partially because of his tariffs right now. Inflation was 2% in April. It's 3% now. His tariffs have raised the price of everything. Everything. And unemployment is up, and inflation is up, utilities are up, grocery prices are up, the job market is horrible. He's not doing a good job. Yeah, James, sure. Except for the fact that again, it's it's the red states that receive a disproportionate amount of welfare funding. So it's you guys, more so than Democrats who need those benefits, Donald Trump said smart people don't like me. They don't even understand that he is insulting them to their face. Oh, yeah, right here.
Smart people don't like me, and they don't like what we talk about.
They don't realize it. They don't realize that Trump, I'll admit, I think you're all stupid, but Trump thinks you're even stupider than I think you are. My problem is I constantly overestimate your intelligence, and then I'm disappointed to find out you're dumber than I thought you were. Trump, he was literally schooled on just how stupid you are. That's the only way he was able to be elected as president. I mean, I'm sorry if it sounds offensive, but it's true. He stood in front of tens of thousands of you and said, I love the poorly educated, right after saying that part of the reason he won was because of the poorly educated. And you guys cheered for him. He was calling you all stupid. You don't get it. He stood in front of a rally in North Carolina. He was talking about the heat. Somebody passed out in the crowd and everything. And he goes, I don't care about you. I just want your vote. And you guys were doing mental gymnastics trying to convince us that he was joking. No. Every now and then Trump slips and tells the truth. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't. He doesn't care about anyone. You can't debate someone that won't let you talk. I'll let you talk, Sharon. Call right in. 410-941-9850. I'll let you talk. How would you even say that if you haven't seen me debate anyone? Oh, yeah, without a doubt, Pumpkin. You liberals are foils. Yeah. You want to rewrite that, stupid? Liberals are foils. Why do liberals think it's okay for criminals to go unpunished? Examples: cashless bail and no prosecution. Well, they don't think it's okay for criminals to go unpunished. You guys are so funny because you'll talk about Kamala being this hard-nosed fucking prosecutor who's putting people in jail for ridiculous amounts of time, and then you'll say liberals think crime should go unpunished. Here's the fucking problem. Okay. And believe me, the liberals took this too far. I'm not a liberal. I don't care to stand up for everything they do. But I will say a lot of the reason for cashless bail is because of Khalif Browder. Okay. If you don't know about Khalif Browder, he's a kid from the Bronx. At least he was a kid. He killed himself. He's dead now. Okay. But he was a kid from the Bronx who was accused of stealing a book bag. Okay. There was no proof that he stole it. Just some other kid said, he stole my book bag. They put the kid in Rikers Island. His bail was, I think, $500. And his family just didn't have it. He spent 3 years in Rikers. He was jumped. He was beaten, assaulted in every way you could fucking imagine. He was a tough motherfucker. Don't get me wrong. He fought back like crazy, but he was fucked up constantly in there by COs, by inmates. Because he was all by himself. He refused to join a gang or anything. And for 3 fucking years, he sat in that hellhole because of a $500 bail over stealing a backpack. So he's one of the reasons. That's the problem. It's one extreme to the next. I know a kid that got caught selling OxyContin. They gave him a $250,000 bail. He sold 4 pills. A $250,000 bail right here in Pennsylvania. You justify that for me. That a kid who sold 4 goddamn pills deserves a $250,000 bail. Not fentanyl. Okay, just straight up oxy. It was a prescription of his. Okay. That's why, because it's there's two extremes. Well, on the right, it goes too fucking far. You want to keep people in jail over an accusation of a stolen backpack for 3 fucking years until the kid finally gets released and can't take the bad memories anymore, so he hangs himself from his mother's second floor window. You know? That's the problem. It's ridiculous. Some bail needs to be cashless. You don't need to put up fucking money, especially if you have a record and you've always shown up to your court dates and stuff. It's bullshit. It's just another way to get money off you. They want you to jump bail so they can keep the fucking money. But of course, letting people out for serious crimes, armed robbery, aggravated assault, letting them out with no bail is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's why there has to be a happy medium. But see, nobody can work together anymore. They just can't do it. Everybody hates each other. China just raises the price. No, China doesn't raise the price, Chuck, because China doesn't lose anything. Why would they raise the price? You actually have it backwards. What actually happens is the importer, which is the American company, they buy something from China. They have it imported. Now, as soon as it gets to the docks, before they can even get it off the ship, they have to pay the tariff. So now all their items, okay, are more expensive. Let's just say it's blank t-shirts, okay? So now a guy was paying $5 a t-shirt and he was selling them for $10, okay? So you could get your t-shirts from this company for $10, okay? But now with the tariff, each t-shirt costs the guy $7. So you think he's going to cut down his profit by $2, or is he going to raise the price of the t-shirts to $12? And now instead of you paying 10, you're paying 12. That's what happens. China doesn't raise prices because it doesn't cost them anything. Tariffs do not cost foreign countries money. They don't. That's why, and you know what it's causing? China just said, fuck off then. I'm just not buying soybeans from you anymore. And all the farmers suffer. That's what good Donald Trump is doing for the farmers. And what does he say? Good old socialism. What's his answer? I saw him with my own eyes, heard him with my own ears a couple of weeks ago, and he said it several times since. He said, we're going to have to bail them out to the tune of maybe $15 billion or so, which, by the way, is what he had to do in his first term because of his tariffs. So now that socialism you guys hate, farmers are going to get $15 billion because Donald Trump fucked them over with tariffs. And they don't want free money. They just want to sell their product. But Donald Trump cut their balls off. They can't sell their product anymore. So FBS, imagine thinking that if you got emotional as a man, you were being beta, simp, cuck, a woman. So a funeral or pet died, can't cry. Jesse Lee Peterson. God, that's probably the softest, effeminate bitch I've ever seen in my life. China's buying soybeans now. No, not really. They're not anywhere near where they were. They were supposed to buy 27 million metric tons by December. Okay? According to Trump's deal, which, by the way, China never confirmed. Trump just said he made a deal, which he's always lying about that. They were supposed to buy 27 million metric tons by December. It is November 20, about to be 7th. They've bought 350,000 metric tons. It's a little short of 27 million. You know? So no, they're not. They're getting their soybeans from Argentina. And Trump is fine with that too. Guys, please hit the like button and subscribe. It's very, very important. Okay, Sharon, what did I lie about? Tell me what I lied about. I'm sorry you're in the ICU. It's terrible, fire. Sharon, I'm gonna make you answer. What did I lie about? Tell me one thing. Tariffs are a percentage of profits charged to foreign companies that want to sell their products to Americans and American companies that want to outsource jobs. My God. I mean, that is literally not true by any stretch of the imagination. A percentage of profits charged to foreign companies that want to sell their products to Americans. I mean, it doesn't matter how much I explain it. You don't listen, do you? You believe that the companies, the overseas companies and shit, that they that it costs them money, that they pay somehow the tariffs. Let me ask you something. Donald Trump, within the last few days, he did a press conference and he said, I am going to lower the tariffs on beef because beef is too expensive and I want to lower the prices. Now, if tariffs don't make the price of beef higher, then why would him lowering the tariffs make them less expensive? We pay the tariffs, for the love of Christ. We pay them. Yes, he is, Rob Densmore. Guys, please hit the like and subscribe. Very, very important. The U.S. was way better off when there were juvenile delinquent centers. The kids actually got rehabilitation and were released with a much better outlook on life after mandatory counseling. And first of all, there's still juvenile delinquent centers in every city and every state in America. I don't know why you think there isn't. And secondly, they can be useful or they can be the worst thing to happen to a child because it's just prison for a kid. I don't know if you know about the Cash for Kids scandal in Luzerne County here in Pennsylvania, but another Republican judge, just like all the Republicans take money from private prison companies, he was taking money from private prison companies that owned detention centers in PA. So he was putting kids away for 2 years for shoplifting because he was getting money for it from the private prison companies. So no, you got to be very, very careful with those. And believe me, you would not want your own kid in one. You would not. No, happy mansplainer. You just don't hear. I'm going to just do away with you because you never offer anything to the conversation. All you do is talk shit. Maggots aren't known for their brains. No, they're known for the lack of brains. Oh, at 1 million. Okay, good. Rick Young. So we got 5-6 days for them to buy another 26 million metric tons. Matter of fact, you're right too, Rick, because the other day when I was listening, the one person corrected the other. 1 million metric tons. Yeah. They're supposed to buy 27 million metric tons, according to Trump, by December. Of course, China didn't confirm this. Trump just does this. It's just like how you think he ended all these wars. Tell me which ones he ended. He just tells you he ended wars. You believe him. He tells you trade deals. I made a trade deal with this country, that country, and there's no confirmation of a trade deal. The other country says we don't know what he's talking about, but you guys never catch on to that. Sharon, I asked you what I was wrong about. So why can't you tell us what I'm wrong about? Yeah. The tariffs and the price. What about it? The one Biden just auto pen pardoned. What does that have anything to do with? I'm sorry. And by the way, you guys can't use the auto pen thing anymore. Didn't you hear? See, Joe Biden never came out and said, I don't know who I pardoned, but Donald Trump did. Donald Trump was on 60 Minutes a couple of weeks ago. And when he was asked about the last person he pardoned, he said, I have no idea who that is. I never, I don't know anything about him. So it sounds like an auto pen situation to me. Yeah, mostly, Paul. Yeah. Inflation was at 1.4% when Trump left office in 2020. It peaked at 9.1% under Biden. It's at 2.7% now. No, it's at 3% now. That's great considering we're still recovering from Biden's economy crisis. No, it's not. It's not. Can you tell me why it went up to 9.1%? Can you tell me? Do you know? I mean, I would hope you do because you literally said it in your comment. I'm over him. You guys are the ones that keep talking about him. Yeah, he's the only one who has zero clue who he pardoned. Yep. Let me see. What is that exactly? What does that mean? Who are you talking about? By the way, Donald Trump didn't leave office in 2020. He left office in 2021. Hold on one second. Gotta do something. All right. Even under export tariffs, the importer still pays the tariff. The importer always pays the tariff. Yeah, which means it's passed along to us. Yeah. You don't know what China said, haha. Why don't you tell me, Sharon? What did China say? The correction system is modern day slavery paid for by taxpayer dollars to corporate lobbyists, whip holders. Yep. What is shit? Stream talking shit. I hope you use the money to make to help you with TDS. Listen, there's nothing I could do about tremendous dick syndrome. I have a huge cock, and that's just the way it is. I mean, you could ask your wife if you don't believe me. I'm just kidding. You're not married. You're gay. Apple is opening a plant in the USA. Yep. That's the one thing that's true. And they're not going to make iPhones here and shit. They're just going to make certain products here, not iPhones. Your iPhones will still be made in China. Donald Trump said Hyundai is opening a plant here. Totally not. He just lies to you about shit like this. Trump pardoned all that trailer trash from January 6th. He certainly did. Well, how about all those leaders from those countries that he stopped their war nominating for the Nobel Peace Prize? They just did to be sweethearts. Yeah, to kiss his ass because they get favors from him because he's such a simp. Look what Mom Dami just did to him. Mom Dami walked in the Oval Office and Trump practically started blowing him like his name was Bubba. Okay. So, and what wars did he stop exactly? Can you tell me which ones? Yeah, they conveniently ignore the global pandemic. Yeah, they talk about 9% inflation, and they don't understand that that was caused by the pandemic, which Trump grossly mishandled. It's funny how you talk about the inflation rate when Trump left office, but you don't talk about the unemployment rate or the amount of jobs he lost. You don't talk about any of that. Yeah, 32%. Is that what it is now? I thought it was 38 still. You can tell who the Republicans are in the chat because they literally don't do anything but spit words with no explanation or facts to back it up. They'll just keep telling me I'm wrong. Biden's inflation will last for a long time. You can't fix everything in 11 months either. It's not Biden's inflation anymore, stupid. It's Trump's inflation. Inflation was 2% in April. It's 3% now. So how do you explain that? And you know what helps cause inflation, right, dummy? Tariffs. Biden's inflation. It's so funny. You guys will give credit to anything, that's good right now. You'll give credit to Trump. But anything bad, you'll be like, that's still Biden's economy. Yeah, okay. The consumer pays the tax. Yes. No doubt, Colonel Quayle. I do my best. The ignorant chat. Why don't you come on and debate me and show me how ignorant I am? 410-941-9850. Yeah. Well, that was Netanyahu. You know what I mean? Netanyahu, just wants to be in Trump's good favor, That's all bullshit about inflation. Which part, Gregory Young? The pandemic was under Trump. Oh, God, I swear to Christ. It's unbelievable. It truly is unbelievable. I mean, oh, my God, the pandemic was under Trump. So you're saying by the time Biden took office, everything was good. There was no more shutdowns, no more lockdowns, no masks, no nothing anymore. No more deaths. Trump, the pandemic lasted years. And Trump, it started in, we'll say, March of 2020. And he was out of office by January of 2021. So less than a year. COVID under Trump. Although Trump did grossly mishandle the pandemic, and that's one of the reasons inflation got so high. Hello?
To accept, press 1.
Hello?
Hey.
Yeah.
Don't you think it was the Democrats' fault for bringing COVID to us from that lab? the gain of function research.
I can't talk about that, guys. We can't talk about that. YouTube will take me right off of their platform. Can't talk about conspiracy theories. Until the other night, I only ever gotten one strike in 4.5 years on my channel, and it was Lilo Brancato, the actor, the guy that played Robert De Niro's son in Bronx Tale. I got a strike because that fucking jerk off kept spewing these bullshit conspiracy theories about COVID. Yeah, it wasn't Democrats. It wasn't. Guys, you do realize that it was the entire world, right? Like, you guys act like it affected only the US. I remember when you were saying they did this so that Trump couldn't win the election. It was the entire world. Every country in the world. The fact that you guys believe that, honestly, it isn't even surprising to me. It isn't. Sharon said, yes, it is. Then she said, nope. Yep. Don't know what you're talking about, Sharon. Have no idea. How in the fuck can anyone still support Trump? It isn't left versus right. It is the billionaires versus the rest of us. They don't understand that. Yeah, I know, Dark Trainer, Benji. I know. These guys talk a lot of shit, but never once have I seen one of these guys call it to debate. There was 4 or 5 of them, but they regretted it afterwards. This dude is such a beta. Yeah. You know all about me. Sure I am. Their arguments never made any logical sense. No, there's no logic in their arguments. Higher prices from taxes being increased by Trump. Yeah. But back to the pandemic thing. I mean, again, like you don't want to mention, you failed to mention that when Trump left office, there was a 14% unemployment rate. But Biden brought that down to a record low of 3.2%. You cherry pick little things that you could use to make Trump look good and Biden look bad. No matter who took office after COVID, inflation was going to be through the roof. Every nation in the world experienced inflation. There was global inflation. Our country recovered the fastest, our economy, under Joe Biden. No, they don't know anything. They really, truly don't. When I say that, they don't. No, I can't. J-Ray, call me. I'll talk. That guy can even call back, but we cannot talk about, you can't spew conspiracy theories about COVID. You can ask anyone on YouTube. It's one thing they do not tolerate. Call me back and debate me about anything. Any of you. 410-941-9850. But if you spew conspiracy theories, I have to hang up on you. I'm not losing my channel for one of you punk motherfuckers. Believe me. I've made $500,000 on this channel, probably. I'm not losing it for any of you. Yes, I agree. Billionaire got richer with Biden, not Trump. That's not true. Tell me how. Tell me how, because Trump gives the tax cuts to the billionaires. And I don't know if you noticed, but at Trump's inauguration, he was literally sitting with Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. The billionaires are for Trump, not for the Democrats. Why are you giving Biden so much credit? He's not a real person. He has dementia. So does Trump. I mean, Trump's, I think, is worse than Biden's. Here, I'll show you a question that Trump was asked 2 times in a row. He was asked, how long are the illegal immigrants going to be held here in Alligator Alcatraz in Florida? Listen closely to his answer.
Okay, please, in the back.
Dana Marie McNichol, Fox News Channel. Mr. President, is there an expected time frame that detainees will spend here, days, weeks, months? And does that have anything to do with the immigration judges you just spoke about being trained and staffed here?
When you say, what was the first part of your question?
Is there a specific time frame you expect the detainees to spend here? Days, weeks, months?
In Florida?
Yes, here at Alligator Alcatraz.
I'm going to spend a lot. Look, this is my home state. I love it. I love your government. I love all the people around. These are all friends of mine. They know them very well. I mean, I'm not surprised that they do so well. They're great people. Ron has been a friend of mine for a long time. I feel very comfortable in the state. I'll spend a lot of time here. I want to, for 4 years, I've got to be in Washington, and I'm okay with it because I love the White House. I even fix up the little Oval Office. I make it, it's like a diamond. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It wasn't maintained properly, I will tell you that. But even when it wasn't, it was still the Oval Office, so it meant a lot. But I'll spend as much time as I can here. You know, my vacation is generally here because it's convenient. I live in Palm Beach. It's my home. And I have a very nice little place, nice little cottage to stay at, right? But we have a lot of fun, and I'm a big contributor to Florida. You know, pay a lot of tax, and a lot of people move from New York, and I don't know what New York is going to do. A lot of people moved to Florida from New York, and it was for a lot of reasons, but one of them was taxes. The taxes are so high in New York, they're leaving. I don't know what New York's going to do about that, because some of the biggest, wealthiest people and some of the people that pay the most taxes of any people anywhere in the world, for that matter, they're moving to Florida and other places. So we're going to have to help some of these states out, I think. But thank you very much. I'll be here as much as I can.
Yeah, no, he don't have dementia. He's perfectly cognitively healthy. Yeah. CNN and MSNBC has openly admitted that Trump is the most favored president. Check your facts. You are literally libtarded. What does that mean? Literally the most, or Trump is the most favored president. What does that mean? Could you explain that to me? The most favored president? What does that mean? Donald Trump's approval ratings are horrible. They're horrific. They have been during this whole term. So what are you talking about? Plus, you know, he had lower approval ratings in his first term than Biden ever did. So what do you mean? He's the favored? Do you mean favorite? What does that mean? And by the way, CNN and MSNBC are bullshit, right? I mean, they're always bullshit until they say something you like, and then it's valid. Ain't that some shit? It's almost like you guys don't stand for anything and you're all full of shit, isn't it? Oh, yeah? Tell me how he laundered money. Tell me why the Republicans couldn't impeach him, even though they tried. Tell me why a Republican House Oversight Committee cleared him of any wrongdoing. Tell me why. We were under Trump's tax plan under Biden. LOL, you guys literally know nothing. Yeah, they don't understand. Did somebody say their taxes went up under Biden? Yeah. You would have Trump to blame for that. Democrat makes money from views, calls, views, punk. You are Trump. God almighty, James. What grade did you make it to in school? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, word salad, typical one, sundowning. Exactly. My wife's a nurse. She knows all about it. Yep. Democrats kicked people off of Facebook and other sites and were told by Biden to cut people from speech. I don't know anything about being told by Biden to cut people from speech. I don't know what that means. But Twitter is literally doing that now. Like they block anybody who doesn't agree with Elon or Trump, you know. That's why he bought fucking Twitter to begin with, so he can control it and help get Trump elected again. Brad Lang, that's fucking hilarious. The real test is if you take that test, then brag about how well you did on that test for the next year. You are slow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Donald Trump, yeah, he takes a test that's only meant to determine if somebody has full-blown dementia. He passes it. At least he says he does. And he goes around bragging about it, literally like as if it was an IQ test. What about Biden's laptop? What about it? No. A steady blaze. I know you like to acknowledge reality, but Democrats since June have been clamoring to get the Epstein files released. They've been doing everything to force the release of the Epstein files, and Republicans have been covering them up, led by Trump, because Trump is all over those files. So you could keep thinking it's the Democrats, but you couldn't tell me a single one that's in the files for sure. Go ahead, tell me one. Joe and Kamala were doing so good. Why did they prefer Trump? That's the dumbest fucking question I ever heard. That's like me saying if Trump was doing so good, why did they prefer Biden? What the fuck? People change their mind about stuff. People blame the Biden for inflation because they're stupid. So that's why. Inflation skyrocketed under Biden. Yep, because of COVID. It skyrocketed under every nation's leader in the world. That's what happened after COVID. If it was Trump, it would have been even higher than it was under Biden. What kind of stuff as question is that? 73 is absolutely the dumbest president we ever had. F-35s for terrorists is the best idea. What does that say? Swing state wins and popular vote is a kick to the nuts of the DNC. Stop crying. No, Steady Blaze, what you don't know is, because you don't know anything, is that Biden beat Trump by 7 million votes. Trump beat Kamala by only 2 million. It's the Electoral College, bro. And the popular vote, it was next to nothing. Like I said, he didn't even get 50% of the vote. He got a little tiny bit more than Kamala got. So it was not in any way, shape, or form a landslide. Mag, you're embarrassing. They are not even from our country. X showed that already. Yeah. They changed the name from Epstein files to Democrat files. That's awfully funny that the Democrats are the ones trying to get them released and that the Republicans are refusing, especially since Donald Trump could release them literally right now if you wanted to. You are deluded, kid. I bet you wouldn't call my phone right now and tell me how while I'm live, would you? 410-941-9850. You wouldn't be a coward who knows you're stupid, would you? You'd come on here and debate me after a comment like that. Right? And what do you mean by deluded? The way you spelled it. What do you mean by that? Oh, yeah, I know, Travis Murphy. It was the same thing with Obama. 4 years under Biden, suppression of Epstein files. First year of Trump, Epstein files is currently released. Your libtardation is showing. The Epstein files have not been released, Steady Blaze. And Donald Trump had the files before Biden did in his first term. So did he suppress the files? Did he? Because that is a fact. So why didn't Trump release the files, especially when he was running for re-election? And according to you guys, there's all kinds of Democrats in them. Why didn't he do that? I can answer anything, JC King. I've been answering literally everything. And I'm looking for one of you to call in and debate me, and you're all scared to. 410-941-9850, by the way. Yeah, it's not a landslide. He won by 2 million votes. Biden won by 7 million votes. So if that's a landslide, then Biden mollywopped his ass. I mean, holy shit. No, they weren't. Jeffrey Epstein's main bust and Ghislaine Maxwell's main bust didn't even happen until 2019 when Trump was in office. So there's that. And by the way, the 2009 case you're talking about, that was a case of where he slept with a 17-year-old. He got a sweetheart deal. And the guy who gave him the sweetheart deal is a guy named Alexander Acosta, who is very good friends with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump made him the Secretary of Labor in his first term. The guy who gave Epstein the sweetheart deal. Biden didn't control his DOJ. He had no access to them. Get real, kid. Who you calling kid, bro? I mean, I know you're talking to them, but I don't understand. Biden could have releases the files for the past 4 years, right? No. Again, I'm going to ask you again. Why didn't Trump release them before Biden? Yeah, Trump literally only released what Biden had already released. Yes. Yep. Brad Lang, very good. Yes. There were open investigations, including Maxwell, who just tried using her last appeal in 2025. By law, Biden couldn't release the files. Of course. Same reason, by the way, that Trump didn't release them in his first term, you jackass. Biden couldn't find his way off a stage. Oh, shit. I played a video earlier of Trump lost lost, walking in all different directions. Somebody has to grab him by the arm and lead him around. Yeah. Trump is demented. There's no doubt. And I got videos too of Trump getting lost on stage. I got a video of Trump walking out off Air Force One. The Beast, his giant car is right in front of him, and he makes a right turn, and they have to grab him and lead him back. Your libtardation is top tier. By your logic, Biden actively suppressed Epstein files for 4 years. You were crashing out. How? How by my logic? How? Didn't you already get the answer from a smart person in the chat why Biden couldn't release the files? You dopey fuck you. I love the funniest thing about you guys is you're the dumbest people in America, but you've convinced yourselves that you're smart. When a guy like me will eat you alive in a debate, you can't hang with me on any of this. None of that. That's why Steady Blaze, you'll talk shit from the chat, but you won't call this number. No. All Democrats voted to release the files yet again, and still Republicans on my did because they're king. Well, all right, let me explain. So the discharge petition, which is the first step in releasing the Epstein files, since Trump won't just do it on his own, and he's making Congress go through all that. The discharge petition was the first step. There was 218 signatures on the discharge petition. 214 of them were Democrats, only 4 Republicans. So, yes, he did, Michael Matthews. Go check the numbers and come back. Tell me what you find. Congress has control over whether to release the Epstein Democrat files. No, they don't. They do not at all in any way, shape, or form. Because then your argument about Biden would fall apart too, because I would just say, well, Congress didn't approve the release of the Epstein files. You know what I mean? Like, it's not true. Donald Trump is the president. The DOJ has the files. All he has to do, just like he told Pam Bondi, indict James Comey, John Bolton, and Letitia James, all he's got to do is say, release the files. And you know who said that for years? Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, that the president at any time could release the Epstein files. So, yeah. Yes, she was. Absolutely. Trump's name is in it more than Epstein. Trump is all over them files. It's true. What I've learned so far being on this chat is Republicans can't spell, have incomplete sentences, don't fact check, live in the poorest states, and are scared as hell to call and debate. You're right on all counts. Do you really think Biden was competent? See, when you asked that question, I wasn't there. It's just like Trump. Trump appears incompetent in every way, shape, and form. I have videos of him where he appears clearly to have dementia, but I'm not a neurologist who gave him an MRI. I know that Biden, whether you want to believe it or not, literally fixed America after Trump broke it. It's a fact. It's a fact. You can't even tell me why things are the way now in like what caused that. If it wasn't already Biden's recovering economy, what did Trump do to make things the way they are now? Even though now he did fuck everything up. The job numbers are so bad, he had to fire the Bureau of Labor Statistics person, and they kept the government shut down so they wouldn't have to report job numbers. But basically for the last 5 months, it's pretty much been the worst since the Great Recession. Unemployment is up, inflation is up, grocery prices are up, utilities are up. But if you guys claim it's so good, then what did he do to make it so good? Trump is the reason you fools know anything about Epstein. No, he's not. Trump never worked as an informant, never went to the authorities on Epstein, never, not once. It's all in your fucking head. Trump never ratted him out. It's not true. And you can't find a single credible source that says it is. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. They don't even know numbers. They don't even know the number. They just say, oh, you want every swing state? Landslide. You are a true blue libtard loser, straight delusional with a broken heart for being such a top-tier clown. Biden walking into bushes and falling up the stairs, etc. Yeah, I showed a video earlier of Trump falling up those same stairs. Steady Blaze, You have done nothing but insult me since you've been in here. You have not come up with one true statement, fact, or argued anything, and you're too much of a coward to call me and debate me. So what is the point of keeping you here? There you go. Done. The things that you are giving us is public on the government's website, at least for a time, but still public record. So where are these Trump supporters getting their info? Fox News and Donald Trump. If you look at them, all they do is repeat the same shit that they spew on Fox News and that Trump spews every day. Biden cheated, except 63 federal judges, many of which were appointed by Trump, said he didn't. Trump is actually the one who cheated. Gas prices. Gas prices are down on average about 2 cents a gallon across this country. I don't know what 8 years, bruh, means. I have no idea. Brian Ramsey. Even though illegal immigrants commit crimes at a much lower rate than American citizens, I'm sure it's all fixed up now. Yeah. That's all Maggie can do when presented with facts is insult the speaker. I know. How many peace deals? Look how he spelled peace. Jesus Christ. None. Name me the peace deals. What wars did he end exactly? And it's PEACE. Jesus Christ. All right, now tell me how I'm wrong. You guys see? None of them will tell me how I'm wrong. They'll just say I'm wrong. Hard for a bot to call in. So you're saying the MAGA people in here are bots? Who knows? Maybe. Kevin Spencer. Maybe. $2.41 a gallon today. Do you think that's nationwide? Do you know, right, that everywhere the price of gas is different? And I don't know that it's $2.41 a gallon today. What's the cheapest gas in America right now? This is $2.50. $2.41. And maybe it depends on where you are, but the gas prices are different everywhere. Like just how you could say it was $2.41 a gallon today. Where I am, it's $3.19 a gallon. And when Biden left office, it was $2.99 a gallon. So every state, every city, they all have different gas prices. And much of this country is still above $3 a gallon. Yeah, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it seems to me the 2024 election had to be rigged because how is it possible there are that many dumb people who voted for such a moron? Yeah, well, I feel you on that. It's the same reason you couldn't have convinced me Trump was going to win a second time, because I just can't imagine there's that many stupid people in the country, but there are. I know you're a Harvard grad. Oh, of course. Depending on the day. Sometimes it's Princeton. Current average for Georgia, good. Fuck, it is 425 for regular where I live. You see how it's different everywhere? 335 Phoenix, Arizona. Yep. The part of PA I'm in, it's 319, like I said. January 305 now, 285. So it's down a little bit where you are. On average, if you average out all the gas prices across America and compare them to a year ago, gas is 2 cents a gallon cheaper on average. So where it might be $2.80 for you when it was $3 in January, and I know you said different numbers. I'm just using this as an example. Okay. Where I am, it was $2.99 and now it's $3.19. See what I'm saying? So, yeah, of course. They think Trump controls gas prices. He has nothing to do with it. Nowhere is it $2. No. Trump just likes to say that. Biden did what on the taxpayer dime? I got 3 minutes left. What did Biden do on the taxpayer dime? And then go ahead and tell me what isn't done on the taxpayer dime. Go ahead. I'll wait. January 6th, what happened that day? Oh, a little riot at the Capitol. That's what they say, Pumpkin. 199 in Benson, Arizona. Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, I guess it could be, but I highly doubt that. What do you know but badmouth Trump? TDS runs dip in dip shit minds. Wow. Well-spoken, Mad Rush. Oh, you're the guy from yesterday, right? That just talks shit. Yeah, I thought so. The Democrats could have chosen a better person to run against Trump. Of course. Well, they didn't want to lose, but she was the natural choice. I mean, she was the natural choice. She was the vice president. Yeah. The red states are the least educated states in the country. Well, I that all depends on where you're at too. No. That's from corporate, big, huge corporations that want to curry favor with Trump. So it's just basically a bribe what they're giving him. That companies like Walmart and stuff. You think they're just giving him 25 million, shit like that, just for the fuck of it? Biden did nothing. He did more than Trump, and that is literally a fact. Name me some Trump policies, because Biden did. Jesus Christ, I go through this list every day. American Rescue Plan, Inflation Reduction Act, Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, the Butch-Lewis Act, the Chips and Science Act, the PACT Act, stuff like that. You just don't know anything, Wilbur Bustle. You heard somebody say Joe Biden didn't do anything, so you just say it too. You liar, gas is $2.96 in Benson, Arizona. See that? California is uneducated? Nope. I said red states. California's blue. Yes, they are. Caused inflation. What does that mean? Biden caused inflation. How did he do that? You sure it wasn't COVID that caused inflation? You were lost. Do you mean, dude, you were lost? Who are you talking to, pumpkin? Let in 30 million illegals. There isn't even 30 million illegals in this country. You guys, everybody who says that changes the number. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 30. Yesterday, a guy emailed me. He said 40 million. There aren't even that many illegals in the country in total. So how did Biden let that many in? You think like 10% of our country, damn near, is illegal aliens? The executive order differences between Biden and Trump are incredible. Liberals aim to create freedom. Oh, yeah. You must be in a different Benson. No, you're just lying, Moreno Valley. It all comes down to racism. It does. Trump hates smart people for a reason. Oh, Republicans in general do. That's why, that's why, what was I saying, motherfucker? Oh, Republicans and people like Charlie Kirk and stuff tell you don't go to college. It's a waste of time. Universities are a waste of time. Even though all those Republican politicians, not Charlie, but the politicians, they all went to college and they all send their kids there, but they tell you not to go. You know why? People with college degrees vote overwhelmingly more for Democrats than Republicans. Isn't it funny? The smart people vote Democrat and the dumb people vote Republican. Yes, there is. Look at Minnesota. They let them in mass. So you counted them? So how many exactly are there? Fucking idiot. How many? He goes off of Minnesota. All right, guys. I'm out. I'll see you next time. Have a good night. I know Wilbur Bustle. I know.